Test, test. See how well I'm getting. Test, test, test. Test, test. Okay, that's not bad.
You're going to be editing this all together right now.
Oh, well, it'll be...
It's not going to go on just as we do it right now.
No, like,
Okay,
I mean,
so
I
if I
imagine
fuck up, I could just start over again.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it at all.
That's what I like to hear.
Where's mine? Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I'm with Spud from the Dayglos. Can you give me a brief history of the Dayglos, how you started and how you got to be where you are now?
Well, Dayglos all started out years ago as another band with the three original members, Jesus Bonehead, Cret, and then myself, Spud. And we weren't satisfied with the other band. We had a female singer, and she wanted to do things her way, but we wanted to do everything our way. And things just didn't work out, so we disbanded that band, which I obviously can't say the name of on AM radio, but we started out the Dayglos. And went along for years, recorded our first album in 1980, put it out in 1981, made about 1,100 copies, which went worldwide. We spread them out as far and thin as we could to get as much promotion and publicity out of it as we could. And then we basically sat around for years doing nothing. We decided to put out the new album, or what was the new album at that time, which was Fetus Fetus, in 1985. And so we took songs from the original album and combined them with our new stuff and put on 22 songs, I believe it was, on that album. So that's quite a lot on one album. We incorporated another guitar player, Wayne Gretzky we call him, and who's now playing for Red Tide. He's no longer with us. We put out that album and decided to start intensive touring. We started a 9-month tour of Canada and US. And when that was done, being quite tired, we decided to relax for a little while. Then we put out our next album, which was Here Today, Guano Tomorrow. We got 2 new guitar players from Vancouver, Nev the Impaler we call him, and Mike Annis as we call him, or however you would like to pronounce that. We then just kept touring and now find ourselves ready to put out our new album, Two Dogs, and find ourselves in Fredericton now. That's a very brief history of the band.
Okay, well, what has enabled you as a band and as individuals to make it as far as you have from 1980 to 1989?
Well, alcohol abuse definitely helps to numb the reactions of everybody. If you have, 4 or 5 people together in a band on the road for a long time, you always tend to have arguments, fights, minor disputes, conflicts of interest, you might say, and it helps you to get away from people. Everybody goes to their own individual bars and finds their own individual company, let's say. So, you try and stay apart. If you're stuck together for too long in one spot with everybody, you tend to fight, and that's how most bands break up. They go on the road, they don't know what to experience, they experience breakdowns, fights, and most bands don't last more than a month on the road before the band completely goes under. But with alcohol abuse and things like that, we've managed to stay together.
Okay, people have described you as a band with nothing intelligent to say. How do you respond to negative criticism like that?
Usually we write songs about the people who say it, but people believe what they want to believe. If you just breeze over our music, look at the lyrics really quickly, yeah, it doesn't look like there's very much intelligent. But if you actually sit down, look at the words, look at the lyrics, listen to it, you'll find that there's definitely a meaning in every song. And we try and disguise it. It's true. We use different ploys and that. We never exactly try and say what we mean on the records. We let people discover it for themselves.
Okay, with 2 records behind you, or 3 as you've corrected me on, what lies ahead for you as a band?
New album, Court Cases, more alcohol abuse, more women, I hope. And just furthering the band. We don't plan on giving up now. I mean, we've stuck this out for 10 years as the Dayglos, and with the original 3, more 12, 13 years. We don't plan on giving up now. It would take another 10 years to get another band this far.
Okay, controversy has surrounded your latest LP, Here Today, Guano Tomorrow, just after its release. And now I understand your material is the subject of a test case for censorship in Canada. How do you feel about having your material under the government's microscope, and what were the details surrounding it that it made this all come about?
I'll start off by saying there's no such thing as bad publicity. All publicity is good because it gets the public's eye. It gets in the public's eye, it gets their notice. So the more people who see it, the more people know the band. Whether they like it or not, because of the publicity that they've given us, they're going to come out and check it out. They're going to see what this is all about. Are these guys really the deviates they say they are? Are they really as bad as they say? Should they really be banned? Should they really be hung, I might say? But as far as people's attitude goes, nothing's really changed. Like I said, we might have a few extra people coming out just to check out the band. I forgot the question, so that's as far as I'm going with that.
How do you feel about having your material under government scrutiny?
Somebody's got to do it. It's got to get out there some way. If they want to do it, let them do it. I'm willing to take it as far as they want to take it. I'm willing to go, the whole 9 yards. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Nobody else in the band minds either.
Okay, because of this prosecution by the Crown, do you find that reception by your fans and the general public has changed at home or on tour?
No, I don't find any different. The fans that we had know what we do, know what we're like on stage, and they're in full support of us. They don't want to see us be flushed down the toilet, we might say, or anything like that. They want to see us further our music, further our plans for, world corruption or whatever you want to call it. No, absolutely no change at all. Like I said, we do get some people that are coming out because of the publicity and all that to see, like I said, if we are really the deviants they say we are.
Okay. How has the impending case affected distribution of your album and airplay on campus radio in Canada?
It seems only in Ontario it seems to have affected it. It did when it first hit the news. People were a little leery about holding on to our albums and selling it. Once it got around that it was a provincial case, test case, but still provincial, the rest of Canada didn't seem to mind carrying it and selling it. Some might hide it under the counter, but they still have it.
Do you find that it's limited the airplay across Canada on campus radio?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I heard it in a bar here in Fredericton the other day. And still, a couple days before I left, I woke up, I left my radio on, campus radio, and I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning to one of our oldest songs, I Used to Be in Love, blasting out in my brain.
Speaking of campus radio, how do you feel campus radio has projected you as a band? Do you feel that they have been instrumental in your success? Do you find that they portray you negatively, positively?
No, they don't portray us negative at all. They portray us like they would any other band. They play us like Led Zeppelin or anything like that. They just play their music. They have no negative thoughts that I've ever come across at all. And they haven't stopped playing it, like I said.
Well, do you find that they've been the airplay has helped you, that more people would hear of you now, do you find that more people know who you are because of campus radio, or do you find that if campus radio were non-existent, so would the Dayglos.
Yeah, I think that if campus radio was not existent, so would the Dayglos, because campus radio is about the only type of radio that plays us. And if it wasn't for airplay, who would get a chance to know about us? Just a few people that go in looking for new albums in a store. Kids that go in and go, what's new and exciting? And somebody might happen to say, oh, the Dayglos are new and they're exciting, or, they've got a new album out. Campus radio helps. Tremendous. Without it, we would be nothing.
Will we ever see you at this far east ever again?
Well, definitely, we'll come to Fredericton again. I mean, we've had a good time here. We've overstayed our welcome, I think, but we've enjoyed it. We've had a lot of fun here. I just wish that we had played Halifax, but that's something for the next tour.
Okay, I've been speaking with Spud from the Dayglos.
Good evening, Fredericton. This is Spud from the Dayglo Abortions, and you're listening to CHSR-FM 97.9 on your radio dial stereo from Fredericton. Hello out there in Radioland. This is Spud, Mr. Dayglo Abortion, and this is CHSR-FM Radio 97.9 on your stereo dial, coming to you live, almost live, from Fredericton.
Hi, this is the colorful Jesus Bonehead from the Dayglo Abortions, and you're listening to CHSR-FM, New Brunswick's best rock.